Let's talk about super smelters because this right here, this is boring. So hey, why not automate the process by adding hoppers going into a chest at the bottom, hoppers going inside with coal, and your input at the top. Also with these levers, whenever you flick them, it will allow you to grab the experience out of this. But after letting this go for about a minute here, it's still really slow. So why not speed things up a little bit? Got a chest minecart rail on top of some hoppers going across the backside with a coal line in the back, going into the back of the furnaces. And on the front, just like that over there, we have a line going over here on the input side to drop everything in the top. Keep in mind your hoppers do need to be facing down into the furnaces. And with little to no redstone, it's just simply I flick the lever here, off it goes, smelting all my items. Same thing with the coal. Off you go. Now we're cooking with how fast we're getting these. I'm not even sure the hoppers can keep up with it. Nope, the hoppers can't even keep up with it. But man, having these minecarts going over my head can be really, really annoying. That's why we have a redstone one. And also, let's be real here, exposed minecarts, they're a little bit trashy. At least to me anyways. There is a major flaw to this method though. It's not expandable. Because it's really difficult to keep these chests loaded enough to keep going over multiple lines of these. Because eventually, you won't have enough coal in here to support it. However, this design is expandable. But as all redstone contraptions, this one has its fatal flaw as well. Whenever I put my items in here, it flows down all the way to the end into a comparator. This will turn off the signal, dropping all the items into the hoppers below. Now, if the hoppers aren't fast enough, they get stuck in there, none of these turn on. And then you notice the other flaw. It is extremely inconsistent with distributing the items. But hey, at least we don't have minecarts hounding our ears. And also, we don't have to use an minecart input. But to combat the occasional jamming that'll happen with this one, since you will have items stuck up there, you have a little switch down here, which go into these redstone torches and turn them off, allowing your items to drop directly down in the furnaces below in order to clear this thing out. And just like the other one though, this still does work wonders. Definitely not as fast, but hey, no minecart sounds. Also, you get to use chests. Another fatal flaw with it is it uses twice as much iron as there's not a rail on top of it, but more hoppers riding along the top. So it can be very expensive. But on the good side, it is infinitely expandable. And the redstone is rather simple. So let's talk about the best of both worlds solution I came up with. Here instead, we're using hopper minecarts. However, they're not visible when the machine is actually in use, which allows you to put it in smaller spaces and buildings if you don't like the look of minecarts and minecart rails everywhere. The furnace array is set up just like the minecart one over there, with just minecart rails running on top of hoppers on both sides, pointing into the hoppers on the back and top side, with your input on top and your fuel on the bottom. I dropped it right here. Wow. And like the one beforehand, it is expandable. But the one benefit to this one is it leaves no gaps in any of your furnaces, leaving everything even as it flows through the system. How do you keep the hopper mine carts full, you might ask? Well, I have a detector rail going into a torch, which whenever the minecart touches that rail, it turns off the rail that is powering. For example, off it goes. And whenever it comes back, it'll hit the rail, turning off that, allowing it time to fill back up, which will be exactly 21 items. And I have exactly 21 furnaces. So when they go over, they're all dropped in there. And the only essential bit of redstone for that is the bit coming off the detector rail onto here and powering this redstone torch. Same thing with down here, where it just goes into this one and powers that redstone torch down there. Now, the on and off circuit, on the other hand, is a little bit different, where I have it going off of here onto a slab and up into this. So whenever I flick this lock, it locks both these off. The one down here is just going into the side here. It's important that you set it up this way so that whenever the minecart down here travels over this rail, it does not turn off the one up here as well. If you would like to add more furnaces, I would suggest adding a pulse extender to the top area up here. With a single pulse extender, it extends it down to, I think that's, hold on, math is hard, 23. That's the number I'm looking for, 23. However, if I expand it again, it brings us down to that much, which is 15 minus 64. God, I'm really bad at math, and I actually have to pull out a calculator. Which would be able to power 49 furnaces. But that begs a problem. The minecart would not be able to refuel in time in order to go back to power the 49 furnaces, because you will have a furnace that is constantly empty. And that ruins your peak efficiency because now you're just wasting coal. I'm going to take a second to try and find that sweet spot real quick. Here we go, now I got it 30 furnaces long, and we'll see if this works. Alright, let's see if this goes through right. Oh, not enough time. Let's see if 29 will do the trick. Come on. So the maximum amount of furnaces you'll be able to have in each one of these cells is 29 furnaces. That is using a setup with a 3-tick pulse repeater. Sorry, 3-tick delay coming out of a repeater, going into a pulse extender, with only one comparator to turn off that torch on both sides. And as I stated before, these things are stackable. I didn't say stackable, expandable. Let's really expand it now. Get some of our items in the top here. I got a whole double chest full. Why not? Get all our coal in here. Now we go down here and flip this switch. Set all of our minecarts off. And some of them aren't getting powered. I think I need to give this minecart a little bit of a nudge this way. There we go. Nope, one of my hoppers was just turned around the wrong way. And... yeah, boy. Look how fast that's draining. And look how fast I got my items. Oh, Lord, look at it go. That is a super smelter, all right. However, it appears it's only able to reach 25 furnaces, so it's not as efficient as I like it to be. But, it's hard to argue with the results that we got. Crazy thing is we could also expand this even more, but I'm not going to because it's a lot of work. It's also really hard to argue with these kind of results. It's also oddly satisfying just to watch all the minecarts go around and work. And on that note, I would like to thank you all for joining me. Like and subscribe if you will. Subscribe if you will. And I will catch you in the next one. It's really noisy over here. Definitely a negative. I did this entire video and it's still going.